Welcome back to the Hive Doctor, your beekeeping mentor. It's my job to take the guesswork out of beekeeping for you. Today we're covering the seventh and final method of minimal disturbance in our apicentric, meaning bee-centered, with the greater good of the bee in mind first and the convenience of the beekeeper second, way of keeping bees. So the seventh method is something I call don't get greedy. And that primarily comes to harvest time. One of the worst things I have ever seen in beekeeping was when I started as a commercial beekeeper. I would see commercial beekeepers harvest every drop of honey they could from a hive and then replace it with high fructose corn syrup. If you've seen my other videos, you already know how I feel about high fructose corn syrup. It's laden with pesticides, not worth it. Don't go there. Just my opinion, but don't ever feed your bees high fructose corn syrup. There are other things that you can feed your bees other than that. So one of the unfortunate things in commercial beekeeping is that greed, trying to get as much honey as they can. And the reason for that is commercial beekeepers, when it comes to honey, primarily make their sales per pound of honey from a bottler. And so that's why the beekeeper takes as much honey as he can and replaces it with a very cheap high fructose corn syrup feed. So when it comes to beekeeping, the idea behind not being greedy is totally up the alley of being a sustainable beekeeper. Because if you learn how to harvest just enough honey for yourself and you learn how to leave enough honey for the bees, then you are practicing a sustainable method of beekeeping. Now, when it comes to harvest time, and I get to show you guys how to do that, I'm going to be coaching you on how I decide and judge how much is okay to take and how much is okay to leave. And that's going to vary from climate to climate depending on how many honey flows that you have. Some places only have one, some have three. I've only got two here that I can harvest from, so I've got to be really careful, especially with the last one, that I don't take too much, that I always want to leave enough for my bees. So when I teach you guys, it's always hopefully coming from a place of sustainability in mind when it comes to beekeeping. And sustainable beekeeping, in my opinion, is the only way beekeeping is going to make it from where we are now to the next stage. It's not going to make it with greedy beekeepers. Greed never wins in the end. And when you're sustainable, you can rest assured that your bees have exactly what they need and enough of it. As always, thank you for watching. To my apprentices, don't forget to drop me one of these. Check the description and the links below for the tools and equipment and gear that I use. And don't forget to subscribe.